Hey folks, we are continuing our journey to the 15 most important topics in DevOps and SRE interviews. Today's topic is going to be, I forgot to highlight the right one for today. Today's topic is going to be Terraform and not Kubernetes. Kubernetes was number 1 or 2, which we already published yesterday. So move that out of the way. So Terraform, what we're talking about. The question is, before I get to that, please subscribe to my channel. That motivates me to do more videos every day for you folks, so you can be ready for the interview when you get it. So the question today is, how do you approach handling infrastructure drift in a Terraform-managed environment? First of all, what is drift? If you deploy infrastructure like virtual machines and VPCs and subnets and pub subs and whatnot through Terraform, right? But then one of the ones that you provision in the cloud is modified manually or by another process or anything. That's called a drift. Drift means the state of infrastructure that's live right now is different or slightly different than what's in the code, right? Which is a big problem, because if you have that, next time you run your code, Terraform apply, it's going to override the change what's in live environment in the cloud. You can also have a drift when people add new resources, right, in the cloud manually. Anyway, that's drift. Drift is the delta between what's live and what's in the code. Ideally, it should be zero. It almost never is in real life, but the whole idea is to minimize that as much as possible, because it's an exponential problem, meaning as you add more and more drift, the problem that you face managing your infrastructure, it becomes horrendous over time, right? So we don't want to do that. So how do you manage this? First of all, you have to have a habit of running Terraform plan regularly, so that when you do a plan, you will know what has changed, right? Now, of course, you don't want to do this manually, so you want to make this part of some CI/CD pipeline. Maybe even you can even alert on it if you want, right? Some pipeline that runs Terraform plan tells you what's different and maybe gives you an alert or warning or something, or Slack message, something like that. If the drift was intentional, meaning somebody really needed to do this for production or whatnot, right? But he or she did it manually, then the task is to bring it back into the code. So the code should reflect. Code should then change to reflect what the reality is, right? You do that. If the drift was accidental, meaning somebody just haphazardly did something that he or she wasn't supposed to do, so that change should go away, or that new resource should go away, in which case you should just undo the change in the real live GCP or AWS configurations or Azure configurations, right? You should make that change in the cloud, not in the code. Now, you also should have a regular audit of infrastructure to detect what's the third category, which is sometimes people create things that are completely out of the code's domain. The code is maybe the code manages 4 projects, right? But somebody added something in a 5th project, something like that, right? That generally that's not a problem in terms of production, but generally it's a problem cost-wise. Maybe you don't want to incur the cost of that extra resources, in which case you want to have some kind of monitoring for that. Although it's essential that you monitor that every single minute, right? Maybe a couple times a week or whatever, right? So that you know that something has changed in areas that are not in the domain of the IAC or Terraform that you actually use for managing production and staging. Okay, I hope this was useful to you, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be in the topic of Git. Git is the tool we all use in DevOps to manage our code. So we will have a topic about that in the next video, and I will see you then.